Hello, Dr. Rob and Denise Meridith. How are you?
Doing good.
I'm frustrated.
Uh-oh.
I was whistling along with the music you just played, and then I noticed that you had muted me while it was playing.
Good reason.
I've never broadcast my whistling before, so.
It's called technology control. For our audience, welcome to the 6th episode of My Healthy Arizona Fit Friday Community Chat. My name is Lucy Howell. I am the co-founder of the Force for Health Network and am based in Tucson, Arizona. I'm joined by my partner in crime up north in Phoenix, Denise Meridith, with the world's best connectors, and also my wing woman, right, and competitor and partner as we launch My Healthy Arizona into flight. And then I've got my co-founding partner for the Force for Health Network coming in from State College, Pennsylvania, Dr. Rob Gillio.
Hi, Lucy. I got to correct you on something. You're throwing me off because partner in crime is the wrong term. It's partner in health.
Okay, perfect.
This is like what did John, what's his name, say about making bad trouble or good trouble? That's kind of, we're, as partners in health, we're making good trouble.
That's right.
We're going to disrupt communities. Come on, who am I quoting from the civil rights movement? I'm blanking. He just died.
Yes, I know. John.
I know it's John, but his last name is.
Okay, we'll find it.
Yes, we're gonna come back to it. Anyways,
Rob and I are old, so we have an excuse.
This is a fairly new platform that we are just trying to create an opportunity to highlight heroes and issues that have to do with our state of Arizona. We are going to be launching our second state into the mix, Pennsylvania, later that month. But currently we are looking and reaching out to Phoenix and Tucson and Flagstaff, and of course, all the rural counties within Arizona, and offering them just an opportunity to connect in a physician-led social media platform, perhaps provide access to free and low-cost, high-quality content that are specifically designed to improve health literacy, and then see if we can motivate and challenge folks to move, learn, serve, and earn, so we can celebrate it. And a mixed media platform. So we really are just a few weeks into this initiative, and we are currently reaching out to group leaders and family leaders that want to play along. That code at the bottom right is a QR code that will pull you into the different types of resources that, as we talk about, you would have direct access to. And you can watch some of our content as a free non-member, but if you sign up for free, you will actually have a profile, start earning points so that you can get recognition and perhaps even some prizes as we kick off these these Fit Fridays across Arizona and throughout. So I'm going to kind of take that off right now. The way that this goes is the first segment is really about us group leaders kind of coming together and having some executive reflections. So we've got some highlighting fentanyl overdose, and just we want to talk about that. It's real happening. The second segment, we will highlight, it's October Health Literacy Month. So let's go ahead and promo that and talk about how we can all own our own health. Our third segment, we will be joined live by who was originally dubbed America's Healthiest Mom, that I actually just learned about. She is a multiple-time author and the founder of Shape Up US, and we're happy to have her on our advisory board. So she'll be our partner spotlight, and we'll round out the hour with what's on the horizon and what we should all be kind of looking forward to and leaning in towards. So, jumping into it, I do have maybe some quick, if I actually added to the stream, right? Last week when we were talking, of course, we started to talk about fentanyl and these shiny pills, and literally it is attacking our 16 to 28-year-olds, our teens, where there's multiple deaths happening in high schools throughout the country. And one overdose, one instance with these things can can be deadly. And, just grab this off of our Arizona Department of Health website. I mean, this kind of shows some stats through 2020. It isn't even indicative really of our last 2 years. But if you search fentanyl in Arizona, I mean, literally they are catching thieves who are bringing this stuff in quantities large enough to kill like a lot of people. So I think that it is worthy of some conversation here. Let me remove that. Rob, thoughts on your perspectives from a physician as you look out in the country in this epidemic?
Well, it's a bigger epidemic than COVID. Start with that. And it started before COVID. And to a large extent, many of the deaths were in neighborhoods where the attention wasn't, folks didn't get the attention. I know in my upscale doctor neighborhood in Lancaster, where I used to live 4 years ago, not one, but two doctors lost a child in their young 20s to overdose, both of which after an opioid overdose where they recovered in rehab and they came home and they relapsed, and the stuff they bought on the street was laced with fentanyl, making it 5, 10 to 100 or even 1,000 times stronger than the opium, the OxyContin they thought they were buying. So there's two issues. One, fentanyl itself is about 1,000 times more potent, ounce per ounce or gram per gram, than OxyContin or morphine type drugs. But it allows a lab to mix and could formulate a fake OxyContin pill and have it, people think they're taking a certain 5 milligrams of something from Purdue Pharma, and they're really taking a forgery that's full of poison. So they take it, the drug goes to the base of the brain, it goes through, it gets absorbed, it goes through your entire system, and it does some things like slow down your bowel and your stomach, so sometimes a person might vomit. They'll certainly be constipated after being high if they get over the highness. But when it gets to the brain, it hits those receptors in your brain, the dopamine stimulators that are like wonderful. It makes you feel good briefly. And then it wears off briefly, which makes it addicting because then you want more. But what it also does in high enough doses is it'll suppress the nerves that go down to your lungs and tell you to breathe, and you stop breathing. And that's why you die. You stop breathing. And I got to tell you, Lucy, from a doctor's perspective, so my neighbor's kids died. These rich kids died. These poor kids died. And now I'm taking care of my 90-year-old mother-in-law, right? She had hip surgery. And she was prescribed 90 days worth of OxyContin or something like that. We said, no. Give us 5 days, right? We're going to try and get by with something a little better. And on the 5th or 6th day, she was in so much pain, and it was a weekend, and we wish we had a couple more pills post-op. I mean, they cut into her bone and stitches and all this stuff. Well, word went out through the senior network here in State College, Pennsylvania, and within an hour, 3 other neighbors came over with their pill bottles left over from their deceased husbands or from their dental surgery. The old folks are taking this stuff too. Excuse me. Did I just do that? I just did that.
We're on Facebook. We're not on some type of other.
Okay, but I'm saying it stinks like that stuff does. Okay,
yes.
And it's what I'm saying is it is plentiful for even the senior citizens in their 80s and 90s to rapidly, within an hour, find enough OxyContin to kill all of them if they made a mistake taking it. Then thirdly, I just had surgery. And I was prescribed this stuff. I have a 12-inch incision on my back. And I insisted that they prescribe me Narcan also. And I want to talk about that in this segment. And I don't want to dominate this segment because the Narcan can be life-saving. It's a blocker. I'm just going to do it right now. That within just, if the Narcan is so simple, it's a matter of putting your thumb on the red portion, putting your fingers down here and just in the nose into that person. And as they breathe in through the nasal mucosa, it goes to the bloodstream. And within 3 or 4 seconds, it goes to the brain. And within about a minute, Hopefully, if you got enough of it in, and it truly was fentanyl or OxyContin, it wears off. And the person will wake up. It's like a miracle. It's a hallelujah moment, one exception. The person's pissed at you saying, man, I was in the best high. How dare you wake me up? Now I'm throwing up and I'm constipated and I have pain again. But this is what we teach in this course. We got to have that health literacy. This happens to my mother-in-law. I don't have time if she makes a drug error, thinks she's taking her thyroid medicine and grabs the old pill bottle that she hid away in her sock drawer just in case we didn't have the meds and all that kind of stuff. I made 3 drug errors myself post-op. Nothing dangerous, but I made those. With the help of my wife, we made the errors as you're taking 14 pills a day or something post-op. So Narcan, in many states, you get it for free. If you need to learn how to use it, it's on the box. The box opens and it's right there. In Force for Health, it's right there. Get the health literacy. There's like 4 or 5 good lessons written by a PhD pharmacist. There's a unit in there with interviews with a heroin and oxy survivor that's now a medical social worker who talks about the effects in the community with virtual video interviews. That's free. You can save a life if you take the 10 minutes to learn that. I'm going to be quiet, and it's hard for me.
Well, it's interesting because, I started off the topic because I'm just horrified at the number of young people that are not aware. And then you just opened up the other end of the spectrum of the downfall of health literacy and the combination of, these complex, medical solutions for pain that quite frankly, I didn't even think about, right? So, I mean, it is a major issue. And I don't know if I would know what to do, right? If something were to happen, I really do need to go watch the Narcan video and get myself kind of opioid citizen certified. Thankfully, that's not part of my world and the people that I hang out with. But for parents and, those not knowing, school leaders, right? I mean, what is perhaps the state policy on making sure that Narcan is at every single school? That's maybe just one thing to follow up on. Denise, what are your thoughts? How is it affecting you, or what do you would like to share about the topic?
Well, first, I want to say John Lewis is the person.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Who came up with good trouble. Anyway, I couldn't let that slide too far. But anyway, and a lot of people don't even know Prince, who everybody loved, died of fentanyl. Okay. Do you hear about that? No, they didn't say much about that then. But it's, people, I think, in addition to educating them about the drugs and what they do, we have a lot of policies here in the United States that contribute to this. Every country is not dying of opiate, poisoning and deaths at the rate that we are here. So I think at the same time, and this comes back to the mental health issue too, we have to sort of attack it from all ends. So that's all I'll say about it. The policies with the drug companies, there's a lot of insurance companies, there's a lot of things, how we train doctors. There's so many aspects of it that it's hard to see up from now because it's getting worse. And Narcan, this is good. I've sort of heard of it, but didn't really know what it did. So this is good for more people to hear about it and how it works.
Well, I think you got to get some. If you're running an organization, even if you're a mom of teenagers, you're at that football game, or you're at that church, you're at that senior center, you're at that parade and someone's down, you've got 3 to 5 minutes to get somebody breathing again. You got to start CPR once you start the Narcan too. But
right.
You got to get them going or they're dead or brain dead. And they're just basically organ donors or cadavers. It's over. It's over. I think your comment about policy is very poignant. In Holland, in some clinics in New York City, you can go and have supervised administration of even heroin. where you know you're getting the real stuff and you're getting it at an appropriate dose. I'm not sure I'm in favor of this too much. I haven't thought about it enough. I'd like to not have people need drug use. But if you're going to have it in a situation where at least you're getting what you bought, and have it supervised that if things go poorly, you can be recovered. But I think it's something to look at as a policy of, do you have a free Narcan giveaway?
Right.
And it's every church, every school nurse, every mom with teenagers ought to have it. Or for that matter, you come home from the hospital, they give you a bottle like this. I have Dilaudid. That's powdered heroin, is what they gave me at a very reputable place for my pain medicine. And if my 2-year-old who's coming to visit next weekend gets into that, it's over with one pill. Half a pill that's on the floor that looks like a Skittle, the kid's dead. So if you've got the medicine in your house, you need the Narcan in your house. The same way if you have a toilet, you need a plunger. Damn it. You got to really, really be proactive.
Now, obviously, this elicits a lot of emotion from my partner.
Sure does.
A couple of these tongue slips. He is a physician. He is a passionate parent.
Deal with it. Yeah.
I bring up the Arizona Department of Health Services because they have a really great website with lots of different resources and kind of, it's interesting. I was looking back at some of these numbers. And, 2018, 2019, I know we're not done with 2022 yet. And, but perhaps it's like this severity of these children-like colored pills that is making it seem more epidemic-like right now, mandating response. Like, we have to get this in front of, teens right now, so that they know that if they put something in their mouth, it may equal death. I mean, literally, isn't that the severity of where we're at right now?
Yes, it absolutely is. And I think part of my passion is, as a pulmonologist, I would take care of people on ventilators. And so those that would survive but not wake up would end up in my ICU. And then I'm the one dealing with the parents who 3 or 4 days later are deciding to make them organ donors or to turn the ventilator off because they'll never wake up because they're brain dead. And you do that a couple thousand times in your career, and it kind of makes you passionate about some stuff. Prevention is the only way of dealing with this, unless you really want to expand organ donation in this country. Then give the stuff away and get ready to catch people and transplant their hearts. It's awful. And we really have to step up. I think the policy that's in place in Pennsylvania, I don't know again about Arizona, it is not a crime to be in possession if you call 911. So if the police and the ambulance respond and there's drugs all over, they can't arrest you. Okay? People were not calling 911. They were trying to resuscitate someone. We had a case in Huntington, Pennsylvania, where they ditched the body in the woods and buried it because they didn't want the police to know that someone died of a drug overdose in their house where they had heroin or fentanyl or oxy or Dilaudid. But you can't get arrested. So no reason not to call 911. It's a good Samaritan thing. They won't arrest you for possession if you call for help.
I mean, I do want to go ahead and put a little star on that because we should spot check that and start actually, again, as we lean into this reality health games and really look at kind of true key performance indicators of highly collaborative health communities. What is the policy on fentanyl, versus other types? So I don't know what the policy is yet, Rob. That's why I was like, I don't know what Arizona's is. So we'll put a little star on that.
Well, that's the beauty of this, what Denise was talking about, though, is, if people want to do a project, it's nice if you're Bill Gates or something, you have a foundation, you write $1 million check and you're going to vaccinate, some county in some country. But if you don't have money and you want to still save lives, addressing the policy, starting a petition, doing an online education campaign, having a rally, calling on all the state senators, changing the law to make a policy that's more favorable is free. It's just effort. And then eliciting people that have had that experience with policy change I really haven't. With policy change, I've called on a senator or two in my time, but on issues like broadband and stuff, and tobacco use. But I think putting that team together, Lucy, in a given community, to make that a safe haven in their town, or to look into that anywhere in the country who's ever viewing this.
I think that
People in Holland have had wonderful policies. No one's going to prison for drugs there. Less death.
This was if I kind of scroll over here as we go, those STEAM teams that you were talking about, right? Yep. Allowing teens to focus. There are about 238 projects that are all kind of rolled, 154, excuse me. There are 154 projects that are part of this Healthy Citizen and STEAM team deal. Now, this was from a couple of years ago, and these were from 39 counties throughout the state of Ohio. And if you come up here and search, and you just search opioids, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams did some type of project on opioids, right? Mm-hmm. So here's one on, the addiction, and, so this was at Barberton High School. So what we are looking to hopefully do here is take some of those projects, put them into a searchable directory. So literally teens can help peer counsel teens as to what's important in their backyard, etc. So again, this is Fit Friday, and this is the place to highlight issues and heroes and real live matters of health. This is more than a health and wellness show. This is really allowing us to look at reality health tools. How can we help grandma from slipping and falling if we know that 80% of senior emergency room visits are from falls? If we know that 80% of 80-year-olds and older who slip and fall most likely will not, repair from that and accelerate to I don't want to say death, but yeah, that's basically how dangerous it is to fall. And literally, as I lean into my early senior force phase, I find myself being more careful. I really do. I went down hard the other day, and I'm like, thank God I did not shatter a kneecap. Like, I really thought that I may have I couldn't move for 5 minutes. And it reminded me, gosh, darn it, Lucy, stop it. So anyways, let's go ahead and that allowed us to go all the way to 2:30. I think that, just speaking of health literacy, if we really just hyper-focus this week only on, do you know what Narcan is? Would you have any need to use it? Or do you know anybody in your circle who may be tempted to experiment and or are also using, right? Particularly if they're in that 16 to 24 age range.
And I'd suggest even further, anyone who might be watching this that is concerned, reach out to a drug treatment center or to your local pharmacy, even the big brand ones, and say, is there a free Narcan program in our community? And if there's not, and they say you need a prescription to get one and you can't get a prescription from your local health provider, email me. That's the one drug I feel comfortable prescribing anywhere in the world. Because I will go to sleep at night knowing I'm saving a life, and I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not getting kickbacks on it, but it's the sort of thing. It's kind of like just giving someone an AED out there or something that can save a heart life. But check, a lot of communities have free giveaway.
Well, let's go ahead.
Didn't, and so I had to get a prescription, and it cost me, I think, $22. But for this $22, I got it right here in my hands. I know where it is. I have one in the car, in the glove box, and one in the medicine cabinet. I'm not going to be on the street somewhere and someone's down and everyone's in a panic. I just quietly walk to the car, get the Narcan, and spray.
I think that that's a good follow-up, and it'll be interesting just starting with our two largest counties, right? Maricopa and Pima. What is the policy for that? Just very similar to the COVID tests, How much does public health really truly support these types of things. And it's we can have a whole nother conversation on, you know, the disparities, the differences of, you know, Narcan and opioids versus other types of addictive drug use, you know. But good. So that was a full half hour on that topic.
Wow, I didn't realize
that. But I don't see our next guest in here. So let's go ahead and take a quick break. Here's a quick word from one of our strategic partners for telementoring, teletutoring, teaching for 3 to 10-year-olds called Daly's Pods. We'll be right back. And hopefully Jill Steinbeck will be online and we'll be able to pull her in. Otherwise, we continue the conversation of Health Literacy Month. We'll be right back.
Daly's is the leading educational success platform that provides families with the resources they need to help their children succeed. Through live, personalized classes with certified educators, rich daily reports, and 24/7 academic support, we provide you with a personalized learning solution designed specifically to help your child surpass their academic goals. We offer supplementary learning experiences through Daly's Pods and a full comprehensive homeschool option through Daly's School. Unlock personalized learning for your child with Daly's.
All right, so we are back and we are going to keep rolling here. And if Jill pops in, then we will pop over to her segment. But so National Hispanic Heritage Month is kind of coming to a close. It's interesting. It kind of starts on October 15th and goes through, September 15th and goes through October 15th. And one of the, I feel, best resources for Hispanic specific focus. Now, last week we had on your friend Will James, right, from the state of Black Arizona, which was awesome to look at race-related health data, wealth data, et cetera, across the state of Arizona. But Salute America is a program that is funded out of the University of Texas, San Antonio. And I wanted to bring up a really cool tool to share with you so that if you're curious, perhaps, what the snapshot of Hispanic health is in your state or in your region, this is something that could be used. I think it's really interesting. So let's just look at Arizona quickly, right? Can I come to Arizona? And it's showing on our screen, right? Yeah, perfect. And so then you pick a county. So let's just go to Pima County, which is where I'm based at for Tucson. And it gives a very nice, overall view of the Hispanic data versus the non-Hispanic. Yes, most often there will be a opportunity for improvement there. And it'll give you some great links and some other deeper content that is county specific. So as Denise and I look to pit our kind of counties up against each other and also for each other. If she were to maybe look at Maricopa County, it's just interesting to start looking at some of those differences in here. So, I think Salute America is a fabulous source. They are one of our media sources that we pull into our feed. So you will see them often, and they're often giving links to this health equity report card. But I just figured I wanted to highlight that as a really cool resource as we close out Hispanic Heritage Month and this whole concept of health equity and how it really, there are race and gender lines of disparity if we were to look deep into it. So any thoughts on closing out Hispanic Heritage Month? Especially since our state, Denise, is 40% Hispanic, right?
Yeah. We should be interested in that. One quick thing while I'm talking, you can try to get Jill. She said she is watching it, but can't.
Oh, you know what? She probably clicked on
the wrong link.
I'm going to go ahead and take myself off this broadcast. You and Rob go ahead, keep talking, and I'll be right back.
And she has her browser is different too. So anyway,
Yeah.
technology. I Rob, what I call myself is a tech person that hates tech. So
Mhm.
this fits right into it. But yeah, Hispanic Heritage Month. And of course, my feelings about that are the same as Black History Month. Should be more than a month, right? But anyway, I guess it's something.
Mhm.
At least it's a start. What's interesting about Arizona, which is 40% Hispanic, again, there's a uh, health disparities sort of follow along with the political disparities,
Mhm.
lack of uh, Latino people in any positions of power um, to make decisions. So it's all sort of related. But my biggest concern, and same thing with Native Americans here, is it's so skewed
Mhm.
against longevity with people of color in Arizona as a whole. And, we're one of the worst states in the country and this fashion. So thanks. That's why I'm excited to be a part of this program. I'm excited that you're a part of this program. And what I like about it is what you're talking about. You can learn something from other states.
Mhm.
There are other states that may be a little more progressive than Arizona and have programs that, are more effective. And this back and forth, and hopefully people watching can pick up on a lot of
Well,
ideas.
I'll go the other way on that. I'm sitting here in the middle of white, poor to middle class where I live right now,
Mhm.
and when you look at the statistics on that thing, like the Salute America and other such things, they're pretty much census statistics. One of the things I've learned with my work with Native Americans and with Hispanic Americans, primarily in Chicago, not in Arizona, but in Chicago, is the strength of the family is an asset that I think people in the culture that look more like me have screwed up on.
Okay.
I don't know the divorce rates. I don't know the rates of children that don't talk to their grandparents. I
Right.
don't know the lack of respect that's shown for the value of an extended family. And I think we have undervalued the quality and the value of family, of storytelling, of
Mhm.
family history. I watch my sister, who's 70 something now, and she is absolutely obsessed with ancestry.com, finding all the records of um, when our families came over on the boat through Ellis Island. They said, damn it, we're Americans. We're not Polish. We're not Russian. We're not Italian. We're not Jews. We are Americans. That's our religion.
Mhm.
No one's going to persecute us because we have a Jewish background or an Italian background. We're Americans. And everything got forgotten.
Mhm.
So before my grandparents, there's no history.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And I think many in Hispanic family has kept a more of a traditional familial structure. Maybe it's tied in with more of a religious infrastructure and a relationship with the church or not.
Mhm.
But I think that's something that I'm trying to instill more in the audiences I have up here that I'm learning from folks down there. I think it's a value. Your sense of it,
Mhm.
the strong family ties, the respect for elders,
Yeah.
and the respect for potential wisdom from a grandfather, grandmother, to
Right.
learn those recipes, for instance.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I wrote an article once about that, the loss of culinary culture,
Hmm.
right? With younger people not getting that information from the grandparents on how to fix certain dishes. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's scary.
And
So
that,
my background is leisure. My background's hospitality, and simple things that we discovered years ago in designing leisure areas, recreation areas.
yeah.
Okay, the white areas and the Anglo people wanted, walls. They can pull their their RV in there, and they'll just be them, right? And
Privacy. Yeah.
we had to redesign a lot of these areas to be more open because the Latino families would come with, 5 cars.
Mhm.
The whole family comes out. They're going to
Yeah.
be playing, soccer, the whole family. They needed space. So
Mhm.
I remember that, imprinting on me early on that different in culture regarding family structure
Yeah.
and how it
I think some sort of a blend would be
in
helpful.
between.
As I look at the old recipes, my wife is very good at this. She'll look at my grandmother's recipe for lasagna and realize there's 5,000 times the amount of calories in it that if she made it with skim milk instead of whole milk or whole cream or egg whites versus whatever. But I think though, keeping the cultural heritage alive and the respect for the elders and the families is something we can learn. Conversely, as people get together. Any luck there, Lucy? I don't want to be filling time here if you got a guest.
You find her?
So I guess there was a little issue on her browser deal, but I still want to bring her into the fold. I still want to introduce who she is, because we're very excited to have Jill as part of our execution team, our global advisory role. She's known Denise for 20 plus years, all based out of the state of Arizona, and has really focused her time on health and wellness and being an educator. She's got incredible programs and content. And right now she's really focused on putting these really, really cool, I'll call it move it events, because that's what it is. An event is where you show up and you get to move. Right. So she's got a cool family expo that's coming up here in Mesa, Arizona, and it's free to attend, and working really closely with Green Living Magazine as well. And then there's some obstacle courses out there. And what I'm excited about is working with Jill to then do a similar type of corporate challenge based event in Tucson in the springtime. And so we are finalizing out those dates. But I did learn about Jill that she was once dubbed the America's Healthiest Mom. And she's got this little promo video. And since she's not here, I just want to go ahead and play it, because this will help our audience understand who she is, what she's done with her life, and why I'm so excited to have her on. So let's just go ahead and watch this. It's about 3 minutes.
Jill Steinbeck, America's Healthiest Mom, is a cookbook author, personal trainer, health expert, and motivational speaker. She has been described by the media as being an enthusiastic weight loss guru, America's supermom, a national sensation, and a one-woman business dynamo. Regardless of the accolades, she is committed to helping others become healthy. Jill Steinbeck has written 12 books that have sold over 2 million copies. In her latest release, The Busy Mom's Make It Quick Cookbook, Jill offers a variety of recipes for main dishes, sides, appetizers, and even desserts the entire family will enjoy, and provides nutrition advice for deliciously healthy meals. Jill has also been featured in national magazines, including Ladies' Home Journal, Woman's World, Family Circle, and Self. She is a frequent contributor to First for Women, Wedding Magazine, and eDiets.com. She has served as the national spokesperson for the American Heart Association, Chicken of the Sea, Fleischmann's Yeast, and the Arizona Heart Institute. Jill's mission is to help others achieve greater health through nutrition and exercise, and believes in nourishing the mind, body, and spirit. Her fans are legion, swearing that she was responsible for their major life changes. Finally, Jill's dynamic on-camera appeal has helped her to be featured on numerous television shows around the country, including CBS This Morning, Lisa, QVC, and many others.
Jill Steinbeck. Jill is right here with us now. She's a personal trainer and as well as a cookbook author.
What we're going to talk about is aerobic. We're going to talk about strength training and floor exercises.
How did you become America's Healthiest Mom?
You know, actually, I was dubbed by Ladies' Home Journal. They dubbed our whole family America's Healthiest Family. And came out and spent some time. I took them up a few mountains. That was the last they wanted to see of me.
And you're all about not fast food, but making healthy food fast.
That's exactly right.
And you're making it very easy for us.
You
This
said
is a
it
wonderful
perfect.
book. The Busy Moms Make It Quick Cookbook.
Yes, and that's what it is.
It's more than a cookbook.
It's
Really?
a lifestyle. Good.
What are we preparing this morning?
Shrimp scampi pasta.
Okay.
And we're going to make it in about 3 minutes, which makes it so fun because it's so convenient in your kitchen. I'm going to teach you how to have the convenient foods in your cabinets to grab and do.
You are a real proponent in superfoods.
Superfoods.
Tell
yes.
us what that is.
Superfoods are everyday foods, and I made you this wonderful basket here.
This is gorgeous.
Everyday foods that you buy in the grocery store. And when you shop,
Right.
you want to shop around the perimeter of the grocery store. No one can tell you what to do with your body, and no one can tell you how to take care of it. But if you don't take care of it, Randy, no one else is.
Jill Steinbeck, America's healthiest mom.
Very good.
I figured she would like that. I mean, I thought that was awesome. I love anybody who's based here in Arizona and can kind of make a national, impact as she has over her, life of dedication towards, healthy families. So very excited to have her on board, and we'll go ahead and fix the browser issue and access so that we can have her live with us next week, because this whole event component that she helps bring to My Healthy Arizona, hopefully at least twice a year, we will have a competitive option to show up in the northern part of Arizona, meaning Phoenix and above, and then also in the south.
Where's Mesa?
Mesa is is part of the Team Up Greater Phoenix.
Okay, so it's halfway in between. So November 22nd at 9 a.m., show up there, people, and tell us how it is. I want to get some feedback on it. It's nice to have the hype, but actually I'd encourage people to really go and do it. And I'm going to challenge Jill into something. I don't know if you watched the beginning of this show, Jill, and I know she can't respond now, but she will next week. What if part of that Family Fun Expo challenge not just was a physical challenge, but to have them demonstrate a knowledge, let's say, about Narcan or an AED or doing basic CPR, basic first aid, as part of that challenge, not just the speed and the agility, but the health literacy knowledge? That would be my dream, is for them to get points as a family for knowing that, and as a family solving the issue of what they would do if, God forbid, someone went down. Could they as a family know how to call 911 and dial the phone, for instance, 911, et cetera?
We're one step ahead of you, Rob. So we're already going to be activating certain points of the a legacy venue over there where the event is, so that folks that do want to download a free My Healthy Arizona, membership, and then be able to have the virtual scavenger hunt go app, we'll go ahead and coordinate some t-shirts or some prizes, or maybe be able to give away even some memberships or even a school treat or group treat.
I should figure you're ahead of me. But I think the imagination and the creativity around the various different venues, I'd love to have Jill's input on what we're trying to do, and what a privilege to have her on our show next week. So I'm looking forward to that if she can make it.
Well, again, not only on our show, part of our Healthy Arizona advisory group, and the fact that she does this nationally, she had some events in all over the place, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. So she literally is positioned to be our event executor for those communities that actually supports this type of deal. So, that's where the corporate leans in and collaborates with, nonprofits and publics into events like this. So thank you, Denise, for bringing her to the table. Tell you and her originally got together when you had a nonprofit that was linking sports and youth together, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, linking sports and communities. Had that nonprofit for 14 years. So yeah, we did a lot of things together. But one of our themes of that, we had several themes to that program, was healthy lifestyles. And people, sports, what's that? What are you talking about? They could understand the financial literacy part. They could understand staying in school. That was another big part of ours. But the healthy life, athletes, they're healthy. They can jump this high. They can run in this amount of time, blah, blah, blah. There's just, to me, a great misunderstanding about they're healthy in a certain way. Sometimes, it might be periodically healthy. But we were working with students 12 to 18 years old. And there's a lot of unhealthiness in there, even among the athletes. So drug use, one, binging, steroids, when we first started, we're talking, quite a few years ago when steroids first came in, that was a big issue there. So part of what I've always done, and we're doing it now, and we're going to be talking about it at our luncheon on October 27th, is still working with athletes on some of these issues that people sort of, don't think about. The whole concussion issue, was talking about it for a little while. Haven't heard much about it lately until what happened a couple of weeks ago. And Tua, one of the best new athletes around, stumbled off of the field. So it's I like to start young. So we're like I said, did 12 to 18. We probably need to start younger than that. But we're going to be working, my World's Best Connectors, we're going to be working with university students, university athletes, and their parents. So that'll be, when you talk about family, and like, again, we'll talk about it on October 27th, but it's a family issue as far as I'm concerned. It's not just the athlete. It's the whole family can be involved.
Well, part of what we are transitioning now is to what's on the horizon, what's to kind of look up, and obviously the 4th annual Leading from the Top conference that is really, focused on CEOs within the state on, surviving now versus years prior. But yes, the world's best connectors that Denise runs is like a little mini incubator where they really surround CEOs with great ideas and then help bring those through to fruition. So the program that she's talking about is NILO, and it has to do with the name and image likeness. What's the O stand for?
Ownership. That's what
ownership. That's right.
That's what we put on. Nobody else does.
So
Go ahead.
We'll be hosting one of the founder of this new program under the World's Best Connectors called NILO is focusing on better preparing athletes. This particular one has to do with the collegiate level athletes and prepping them so that they can fully take care or maximize their name, image, and likeness and own how that actually can convert into business opportunities, but really taking it as a family affair type of approach, right? And the tie-in with the CEOs is CEOs are competitive people. They're leaders and they are a coach in and of themselves, but typically CEOs will have athletes for children as well, really. So as part of kind of the focusing in on that is one of the upcoming programs. And there's a lot of athletes out there that might not even care, but there's some obviously jumping in and some have no idea whether you're just signing in a pro or now in the collegiate space.
Well, two comments come to mind on this one. One of the biggest issues with adult obesity is athleticism. Is they were athletes doing twice-a-day practices. Right. I mean, Lucy, how much did your son eat while he was doing high school football, right? Twice a day. He's eating 3,000-4,000 calories a day because he's burning 3,000 or 4,000 calories a day. Right. And his appetite doesn't change when he starts only burning 2,000 calories a day sitting in a college classroom or graduating from college. He's not in the pros and he's not on varsity football anymore. And those 5 pounds a year, 10 years later, and you're suddenly the beer belly at the 20th or the 10th reunion. And then you're dead at your 30th, before your 30th reunion from hypertension or whatever, because you never addressed it. The image and likeness piece that you're doing with your conference with the CEOs, the part that excites me as a non-athletic CEO, I was a bench warmer for 1 year of college football, all right? Okay. I played like 2 minutes the whole season. I dropped out of football after, but I love sports, kind of. For me to have an athlete that is affiliated with my company as a corporate executive, I should say, Lucy's the CEO of our company, but as a corporate executive, for that kid, that young man or woman to like be waving our brand at some event, let's say a sports thing, like that event on the 22nd, having to be there watching them wave the flag or wear our logo. I have the opportunity as a CEO to mentor that child on financial literacy, on leadership skills, not just on taking advantage of the kid's how he looks on the field in soccer or football or basketball or volleyball. So I think the real advantage for those CEOs is not just throwing some money at the kid. It's the opportunity to really have a very focused, talented young person that they can mentor and really influence their life as a surrogate parent in part during that contract.
Yeah. In fact, our program is going to be very different that way because we have an educational component. Okay.
Sure.
So we're not, I don't care whether they're getting paid by Nike or whoever. We're going to have an educational component in which health, and maybe you'll be the one to come talk. Health, we're going to have remote, webinars and stuff for them. But health would be a key part of it. And I'm trying to decide now whether to have some separate sessions for parents. Okay. But the Narcan and that kind of stuff you're talking about, that's important information for the parents. So I'm thinking about maybe having a few sessions that are, just talk with parents about it.
I think Narcan, I think alcohol and alcohol abuse and some of the colleges, I know at the university where I'm at right now, it's tragic. They have a death or two a year from alcohol poisoning in the dorms. For parents to be aware of things like steroids and what personality changes they might see in their child if they're on some muscle producing drugs, peer pressure, and even things even things like hazing. That as a team, are they being bullied into doing certain things or being in situations that are flagrantly dangerous? You're going to watch a made-for-TV movie about an athlete that died on Penn State's campus. Netflix is doing a thing on this poor kid that died of alcohol poisoning in the Beta House here at Penn State. Everyone here is like holding their breath like, oh no, I thought that was out of our news cycle. Now it's going to be there forever. And things even like abusive coaches or an abusive mentor. We had the Joe Paterno thing here that turned into a national scandal.
And I'm going to pull it on back from that. Okay, perfect. So as we go, like we said, we have all different types of roles that individuals or leaders play in this whole population health sport. And just because you are an athlete doesn't exclude, or put you in some type of like superhuman category, right? We're all humans, and there are basic health literacy levels that surround just knowing how your body works and performance and all of those. The more you do understand the science of performance in the body, then the more you can utilize those principles to prevent injury and to maximize performance. And again, it's just part of putting some comparative dialogue around. I love just even talking about U of A, ASU, NAU, and then what's going on at Penn State. In a couple of months, we will be bringing in the Ohio State system, with some folks and representation from there, and then the UC system schools. So I'm excited but Arizona is primed to kind of lead by example. So we'll continue having these conversations. If you are a county leader or a school leader in one of the rural counties, heads up, and we will be reaching out to you. You'll start seeing some emails, and we ask you to connect. That's really our first ask in building a healthier public ecosystem, is connecting those who care in it first. So the QR code at the bottom takes you directly to My Healthy Arizona. And between Denise and I, we will be doing something in the community, whether it is a fun event with our partner Jill in November, whether it's a executive roundtable summit type of deal for CEOs in October, or whether it's, come out to the Arizona Bowl on our tailgate party field and do a vertical jump contest to see how high you fly. So lots of things happening. Get involved. The more folks that come in and download the apps and get steps counted and start moving, learning, serving, and earning, the better off we'll be positioned to beat Pennsylvania and Ohio.
It's fun for the competition, but I'm gonna just take it to what you're just saying. I think those of us that are privileged enough to be corporate leaders, community leaders, we have a responsibility to provide opportunities for young people to also learn those skills. And I think a student athlete who has hundreds of thousands of dollars of resources invested in them with gymnasiums and coaches and tutoring and everything else, they have a responsibility. Little kids look up to them. They are role models. They are heroes. And they need to role model those healthy behaviors. And so they need to learn them, or learn how to learn how to really use that privilege that they have to serve back and earn the respect of their peers, of their high schools, not just earn the money from the NELO conference things you're talking about. But when's your conference again? October 27th?
October 27th, yes, from
Okay,
8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And
all right, good luck with that. I just want to make sure that got mentioned again.
Oh, thank you. And go to www.thewbcs.com. There you go. You can sign up there. It's going to be, I got about, 25 speakers, Lucy, maybe more. It's going to be quite an event. But we're going to talk about what it takes to be a successful CEO in 2023, which is very different than in the past.
Mm-hmm. And I like how it is taking our heads off right here. Let me just take that off. Yes, I like also the mix of leaders, because just because you are a public sector leader doesn't mean that you don't have a CEO mindset. So when you say CEO, Denise, I know you say it intentionally to private sector CEO, but I know that you also mean if you're in charge, you're a CEO. Right. If you're in charge of people or in charge of, a project or something important to get done, you are a CEO in the world of leadership.
In fact, our first panel is all government speakers. So
exactly.
But I get them out there first.
Well, again, look at the panel's lineup. I mean, you're opening with Senator Mark Kelly. You've got, Councilwoman Thalong Whitehead, which represents a city. Right, Councilwoman, and then you also have a mayor of Phoenix up there. So, I have to get on the ball because I need to get kind of confirmation and buy-in from my mayors and my city council people so that we can kind of keep score here as to who's at the table. It's just about who's at the table and what can they contribute and do they support effective collaboration or not.
And Mark Kelly won't be able to make it in person, but his one of his chief of staffs here is going to come. So we're going to, Congressman Greg Stanton will be speaking. Anyway, we got him.
Of course. I don't want to not mention the other councilmen who are and Congress people that are also participating in other sessions. My Healthy Arizona and the Force for Health will be leading the lunchtime discussion for CEO, first families, and kind of some of the issues that have been covered lately. And then we'll also, stand up and co-host partially the meetup, right, with the cocktails and stuff.
And
which is open to the public.
Yeah, we have remote, Rob, so we hope to see you there.
Oh, I have it on my calendar.
Okay, very cool.
Okay, wonderful. So again, this is the phase of Reality Health after we launch with our Better Business Bureau and the Tucson Metro Chamber and the Tucson Hispanic Chamber. We are simply reaching out to leaders now, letting them know what it is that we're trying to do, and then just recruiting folks so that the rest of this season is connect, make pledges, understand what a social determinant of health is, understand your role in population health, because come January, then League is starting. We'll actually be able to complete our very first full season of the Reality Health Games. And we've got probably 16 different communities that will be competing and, bring it on, right? Okay, so it's Friday. Let's go ahead and close this up. My final thoughts for this weekend is enjoy. It's finally turned here in Arizona, so we're reminded why we live here and why we love it. Yeah, it's still in the 90s, yes, but at least the night times are getting in the 60s and it feels like fall. So get out there, maybe get ready for some Halloween action, do some decorating, clean the house, be civic, be social, and just have a great weekend. How about you, Denise? What's the final words for
That's
Good
it.
Friday here?
No, it's everybody's out now. Everybody's out and about. So just take advantage of it. It's seeing people I haven't seen in years, right? So I'd say that's the greatest part of what's happening now. The weather is good. Get out there and reconnect. with all those people that you haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, I'll echo that and just let you know that although it's like 40 or 50 degrees right now up here, the colors are absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
So
we'll give you that.
The reds and the oranges, it's like a National Geographic calendar starting in central Pennsylvania, going on up north. So come visit and get out, walk and socialize. Okay.
Maybe one of our ads for next week will be like, okay, we each have to bring our photo of the week, right? And that's either bragging about our favorite park or our favorite moment, because I have started to collect art pieces and then my favorite parks and just take a picture. So we'll maybe start incorporating into that.
Well, I'll tell you what you're going to see next week then is utilizing the fall season. All my kids and grandkids are all congregating here next week. And we're using it as an excuse to kind of come up to the woods and the mountains and go walking and, press leaves and all that kind of, find acorns and those kind of things. All right. So you guys enjoy your cacti and beautiful sunsets.
We won't be pressing leaves here.
I'll enjoy the freezing cold rain and drizzle and slippery leaves in the woods. Thank you. I can't wait for next week for Jill, and I'm looking forward to the October 27th CEO conference from World's Best Connectors. I really am.
Okay, wonderful. Have a force be a force for health, and have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.